General debate at the ongoing 74th session of the UN General Assembly. The President has had a busy itinerary since arriving in New York on Sunday, including addressing various sessions on climate change and universal health coverage. Kenyatta has also held a number of bilateral meetings with various world leaders, including UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres.
Now, Cabinet Secretary, Interior and National Coordination, that is Fred Matiang'i, will this afternoon give a keynote address on initiatives that will be undertaken to improve road safety. Matiang'i will be speaking at the Kenya School of Government, which is hosting the event.
And today, Kenya joins the rest of the globe in marking World Pharmacists Day, whose theme this year is Safe and Effective Medicines for All. As part of events to mark this day, the Pharmacy and Poisons Board will launch 3 key pharmaceutical guidelines, namely good distribution practice, safe management of pharmaceutical waste and transport of pharmaceuticals. The event will be presided over by Chief Administrative Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Rashid Aman.
And from the corridors of justice, the divorce case pitting Senator Mithika Linturi against Miriam Kitani continues. Yesterday, Kitani's mother, Rhoda, took to the stand to give testimony on the matter. In a different courtroom, suspects in the 72 million Kenya shillings ATM heist will be arraigned for mention of the case.
And the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya will this evening hold its 3rd professional forum themed The Citizens' Role in the Fight Against Graft. The objectives of the forum include highlight of the forms of corruption, trickeries played by fraudsters, enlightening members on professional guidelines on ethical conduct and exploring ways of averting fraudulent attempts.
And from Parliament, a Senate Joint Committees on Health and Agriculture will hold a meeting today at the Mini Chamber County Hall on the dangers of glyphosate, the ban on GMOs and the use of Roundup herbicide. With the country frequently facing food shortages, scientists are backing genetically modified maize as a solution. However, for 7 years, tight regulations, including a cabinet ban on importation of GMOs, have limited commercialization.
All right, and now we'll be taking a look at the local news updates, where Facebook and WhatsApp group administrators could soon be required to obtain licenses from the Communication Authority before setting up social media groups.
A bill headed to Parliament this week proposes that users and group administrators who allow offending content on their social media platforms be jailed.
If the bill sees the light of day, social media group administrators will be required to inform CAK of their intention to form the groups and shall be required to control undesirable content and discussion on the platform they control. The
bill, sponsored by Malava Member of Parliament Malulu Injendi, will be introduced in the National Assembly this week.
All right, and moving on, where President Uhuru Kenyatta has urged world leaders to adopt climate change adaptations if they are to secure future generations and expand economic opportunities.
Now, speaking on the sidelines of the 74th session of the United Nations General Assembly, Kenyatta echoed the sentiments of the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, who said the fight against climate change is a race we are losing, but one we can win.
President Kenyatta enumerated steps the government has taken to address the crisis, saying Kenya is fully committed to the fight against climate change.
Now, moving on, U.S. Democrats have opened a formal impeachment inquiry into President Donald Trump over allegations he sought help from a foreign power to damage a political rival.
Now, top Democrat Nancy Pelosi said the president must be held accountable.
Trump denies impropriety and called the efforts witch hunt garbage.
While there is strong support from Democrats on impeachment, if the inquiry moves forward, it is unlikely to pass the Republican-controlled Senate.
The row was sparked by reports an intelligence whistleblower lodged a formal complaint about a phone call President Trump made with Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky.
Right, also in international news, where UK MPs and peers return to Parliament later today after the British Supreme Court ruled that its suspension was unlawful.
Prime Minister Boris Johnson has been forced to cut short his trip to the US for the UN General Assembly in the wake of Tuesday's unanimous ruling.
The PM, who has faced calls to resign, has said he profoundly disagreed with the decision but would respect it.
The court ruled that it was impossible to conclude there had been any reason, let alone a good reason, to advise the Queen to prorogue Parliament for 5 weeks in the run-up to Brexit deadline of 31st October.
Elsewhere, Tanzania's government has summoned the World Health Organization's local representative after the UN agency accused the government of failing to provide information about possible Ebola virus infections.
On Saturday, WHO said it had learned of one suspected fatal case in Dar es Salaam and 2 other infections, but despite repeated requests was given no information.
Last week, Tanzania said it had no confirmed or suspected cases of Ebola.
Now, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex ate traditional South African food and visited the country's oldest mosque on day 2 of their 10-day tour of Africa.
Now, the royals visited the 225-year-old Awal Mosque in Bokap, Cape Town, on South Africa's Heritage Day.
A public holiday, of course, celebrating the national culture, and earlier the couple visited a charity that works with surfers to provide mental health support for youngsters.
The tour is their first official overseas trip with their son Archie. Right, of course, and that is what is making headlines on the international as well as local front. But for now, we're going to be taking you to what's happening in Kisumu.
Right, there's some demonstrations that are currently ongoing courtesy of Juakali traders. So let us now monitor the events as they're happening in Kisumu.
Angalia.
The grievances there by the Juakali protesters is that one of them was stabbed yesterday, and now they are protesting what they call lack of security in Kisumu, lack of respect when it comes to the nature of their trade, and that is precisely the reason why those demonstrations are currently underway in Kisumu County.
And of course, we're definitely going to be covering other stories from around the region with regards to what is happening in our respective counties as we speak, Samuel.
That's true. We had an update from Parliament during the first hour of the show. Now, being a Wednesday, we'll see a lot happen on the floor of the House, and we are monitoring events from the National Assembly. How about we cross over and get to listen in to the Employment Amendment Bill number 15 of 2019, and this is what this particular National Assembly proceedings are all about as of now. Let's listen in.
Early sex. Mr. Speaker, these social problems can be traced to lack of parental care. And therefore, if we encourage the adoption where each child grows in a family setup, we will be able to do away with such social problems that we have in our society. Mr. Speaker, every child is equal, whether biological or adopted. And therefore, every child requires a parental care. And therefore, this bill will help in a situation where all children will have that warmth as they are growing up. Mr. Speaker, if any child who is now 6 months can be adopted, such a child who is 6 months requires parental care. And therefore, this 1 month maternity leave will give an opportunity to the mother who has adopted this child and the child to board and get that parental care. The paternity leave is also encouraged because the adopting father should also be able to board with the child and have that fatherly love to the child. Mr. Speaker, I support. Thank you.
The Honorable Adam Sheikh, member for Marsabit.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to support this motion because it's very important. It's about our children. And if adoption is accepted, then there is a need for that new parents to be with the new child and to be able to get together. But what is the most important thing is before we give our children to any parents to adopt, it is important for us to check the criminal background, whether this parent is capable of raising this child, and whether his intention is to raise the child or take away the child to somewhere else. So it is very important for the department that is concerned to make sure that they check the criminal background of the parents that is going to adopt those children.
The Employment Amendment Bill 2019 that is currently at its second reading. We expect a lot in as far as that piece of legislation is concerned. In fact, it informed a question posed by the Honorable Member of Gilgil, that is Mother Wangari, in as far as that issue is concerned. So we shall monitor more in as far as that is concerned. And talking about monitoring, Shiksha will be moving to the touch screen to just get a feel of what your feedback has been so far, and we shall be interacting with her in the course of the show. But as she moves there, let's draw your attention to Kondele Police Station. We did tell you that protesters or Juakali traders are today demonstrating over a host of issues, key among them the stabbing of one of their own, and now they've moved to the police station to complain of insecurity even as they conduct their trade. So let's cross over to Mombasa, no, to Kisumu, I beg your pardon, and listen in. Same county where 5 MCAs will be charged in court for allegedly assaulting the sergeant at arms. So Kisumu will quite be busy in as far as updates that we'll be getting from our reporter Baraka Karama in the course of the daily brief today. So expect much more from that region. Right now, let's take you to Nakuru County and bring in our reporter Kigotho Mwangi, who has an update for us from Nakuru. Kigotho?
Yes, Sam Njoroge, it is indeed a sad state of affairs in Arash Primary School, where we have visited today, even after the head teacher has refused to allow us to go inside the buildings that are collapsing. It is a sad affair because he has talked to us as if we were coming to condemn him. He has also insulted us and told us there is nothing we can do in, as far as construction is concerned. Our question being, when these constructions go down, are we not the first people to respond? Why are they treating the media as if they are coming to sacrifice their jobs? And my camera person, John Wangombe, can just show you the school has no gate, it has no fence, it has nothing that can protect these kids in terms of a barrier. The school has a hole in class that one stone was removed from. And this school is a danger in waiting. And yet the principal or the head teacher has refused us to expose this. And we are here joined by the chairperson of the parents and also the chairperson of the school, who is going to tell us exactly what they are going to what they are going through and why this stone has not been replaced over the past 1 month. Pengine babangu, unaweza kuniambia kwa nini shule wakati jiwe lilitolewa haikuweza kureplace hilo jiwe? Na utaanza na majina.
Mimi naitwa Daniel Mwangi. Mimi ndio mwenyekiti wa hii shule ya Arash. Vile jiwe lilitolewa na wanafunzi, nafikiri watu tusijui walitaka kutoa nini kwenye darasa. Na pakawa pamezuka crack. Na baada ya sisi kupata vile ilifanyika, tulichukua hiyo shida na tukapeleka kwa CDF. Na wakatuahidi watajia kwa mfuko wa dharura na watatujengea. Kwa sababu ilionekana haiwezi replace watu jiwe moja. Sababu crack imetoka pande ya juu na hasa kurudisha lile jiwe moja halingemaliza ule mwanya. Sasa tunangojea kutoka kwa CDF.
Kwa nini mpaka saa hizi watoto wanasomea kwa lile darasa?
Shida yenyewe yenye iko kwa lile darasa, ile crack sio crack kubwa yenye tunaona ni sio hatari sana. Sababu iko tu kwa kona moja na kule kwingine kote hakuna shida.
Pengine huoni kama kwamba mnahatarisha maisha ya watoto ambao wanaishi pale ndani?
Ndio, lakini hata uhaba wa madarasa tuko nayo, hatujapata madarasa kufikia hata darasa la 8. Ingawa bado tunasukumana na CDF. Bado wanaendelea kutupa pesa za kujenga. Lakini enyewe hakuna shida, hakuna jinsi tungefanya kuliko vyenye tumefanya kwa sasa.
Mama, huoni kwamba watoto wenu wanahatarisha maisha wanapoishi pale ndani kwa hili darasa ambalo kwamba lina mwanya na pia lina ufa ambao umejitengeneza?
Kwa majina naitwa Ana Wanjiko na mimi ni mzazi katika hili shule. Sasa kwa sababu ya uhaba wa madarasa, ndio watoto wanaendelea kuhudhuria hiyo darasa kwa sababu madarasa ni madogo. Lakini hiyo mwanya sio hatari sana kwa sababu iko kwa kona moja. Na isipokuwa ni vile watoto waliingia wakaribu hilo jiwe wakaondoa, sijui walikuwa nataka kufanya nini ndani ya darasa, wakatoa mchanga ndio kukawa na shimo. Sio mbaya sana, lakini tungali tunagoja pesa kwa sababu CDF wameshatuahidi watatupea emergency.
This is a call to the area legislature, that is Kimani Ngunjiri, to exactly to come and do exactly what he promised, because this is a timing bomb that is there. We saw the other time 7 lives were lost by just such kind of negligence. We cannot allow this to be happening. And also we call upon the Ministry of Education to lift the ban on media in schools, because some of the schools need media exposure. My name is Kigodho Mwangi from Arash Primary School. We can also be able to talk about this in our next subsequent briefing. But before that, we take you back to Sam Njoroge and Shiksha Arora for the rest of the briefing. My camera person is John Wangombe. My name is Kigodho Mwangi.
Thank you so much, Kigodho Mwangi, for that update live from Nakuru. Right now, let's take you to Kisumu County. We earlier reported that there were demonstrations by Juakali artisans in Kisumu County, and they are protesting what they call is insecurity and lack of respect for their trade, courtesy of the stabbing of one of their own, and that has led them to march to the Kondele police station to demand an audience with the leadership of this police station to just seek answers and most especially the way forward in as far as this issue is concerned.
We have to complain about justice, complain about particular people, justice center. Union Party,
So Baraka Karama is at Kondele police station. He's currently preparing a comprehensive brief for us, and he'll be giving us that as soon as we return from this break. So keep it the daily brief.